4 nights, the Winnipeg Jets still tried to mount a comeback in the final period against the Vancouver Canucks on Friday night. That comeback came just inches short as they dropped a 3-2 decision to the Canucks. Nikolai Ehlers scored his 6th of the season and extended his goal streak to 3.
Takes it to the outside. Ehlers puts on the brakes, cuts the middle, scores! Nikolai Ehlers gets the Jets on the board.
While Pierre-Luc Dubois became the second member of the Jets to hit double digits in goals as he scored his 10th of the season to pull the Jets within 1 with just a minute left in regulation. Unfortunately, that's as close as they would get on this night. Eric Comrie took the loss in goal, making 26 saves. It's just Winnipeg's second regulation loss in the last 14 games, with both of those coming on the back end of back-to-backs. Jamie Thomas of 680 CJOB joins us now. And Jamie, before we get into your 3 thoughts, the critical question, do you like my mug? It's a new addition to the desk.
Nicely done. Where can I get one of these?
I don't know. We gotta find it. Maybe.
I thought that's why you put it there. It's a selling feature.
Well, we have matching ties at the very least.
Jets.com/JetsTV/coffee mug /auction
/merch all that kind of stuff. Maybe one day. We'll see.
Right.
Kyle Connor continues to roll a 6-game point streak coming into tonight. He's only been held off the score sheet 3 times.
Right.
Man, he's been good.
It's like, unfortunately, with this type of thing, when a guy plays well, and he looks tremendous with a mustache, by the way, and
yes.
The flow is going right now. So everything that Kyle Connor is doing or touching, and there's Mitch over top of his shoulder there, he's like, what should we talk about tomorrow? That's right. I'm texting Kyle Connor. Listen, it's interesting to find a guy that was on pace for, I think he was on pace for 45 goals the year the COVID issue first kicked in at the end of 2020. How he's brought his game to another level, right? So it's just, he's playing a 200-foot game. It's incredible to see him on the back check. He's like, every once in a while, like, who was that? Oh, holy crap, that was Kyle Connor. Not saying he wasn't a good defensive player, but he seems to have accelerated that part of his game now. And I think it's brought a lot of attention to him. And I don't know if this is... We hear the Olympic statement brought up quite often this year, and sure, there's that extra incentive. And I remember Paul Maurice saying, whatever gets my things going for the Winnipeg Jets is a good thing for us. And I think if he's using this as motivation, he's been very quiet about it and hasn't been really questioned about it. I think that's a good thing. But for him to find the chemistry that he has with Pierre-Luc Dubois and whoever is on the right side right now is integral for the Jets. And like maybe he gets to 50 this year. I don't know, but it's been great to watch along the way. And it just seems like every night there's something else like, whoa. Like he seems quicker this year. I don't know if that's even possible. And his shot seems more accurate. But whatever Kyle Connor did in the offseason, it's working.
And, of course, the U.S. Olympic coach on the other bench tonight. So,
yes.
Andrew Cobb saying yesterday, a little bit of motivation.
Right.
So
and that was it.
Yeah.
Said it, walked away.
That
Mic
was
drop.
Question.
Yeah.
Real good moment. Special teams have been a topic of conversation for the Winnipeg Jets. Mostly the penalty kill has been kind of at the forefront of that. But the power play has only scored once in the past 7 games. Clearly, there's a lot of talent in that group that it's going to get going at some point. But what have you seen?
It's one thing you want to see from the Jets with the power play, and they had a great opportunity Thursday in Edmonton with that power play going into overtime, is it looks sometimes like they're not moving that much. And we all know if you're not moving, that allows the penalty kill unit to get into structure and to make things pressure you a little bit more. And I remember last year, again, with Paul Maurice, remember when they went up against Ottawa, he said our power play is going to look bad until it doesn't, until it scores. Right now, it looks like they're looking for the seam passes that aren't there. That plays a lot into the fact that you're not moving. You'd like to see them try more from bombs from the point. Nate Schmidt's really good at getting pucks on the net, and then you get your flanks to come in and look for those types of rebounds. I know it's easy for us to say. It's easy for us to be critical right now because it's not working, but we've seen so much of it when it works well. So you're always wondering, okay, what's going on here that's not going on? So I would like to see more shots from the point. You got 3 pretty good shooters right now. There's the seam pass I'm talking about. Sometimes it just isn't there. That one worked, though. So it's funny how I say that, and it doesn't. There's a good bounce there as well, and that was late in the game as well. So I just like to see less seam passes, more pucks from the point, and maybe looking for those rebounds. Easy for me to say, but I think the Jets clearly have the personnel to do so.
I think the interesting part about that goal that was shown is that it was a seam pass, but it was also just a puck to the net.
Yeah.
And off the shin pad of Pierre-Luc Dubois, and sometimes that's all it takes.
And that's really what you're looking for at this point. And maybe, again, when things are going well, you're trying to do things, you're trying to force passes that maybe aren't there. A lot of shots are being blocked too, and that's another thing too, so you got to give the other team credit, but just get pucks to the net, good things happen.
And the Pittsburgh Penguins, a couple of shutouts for them this week, so so far so good on their 3-game road trip through Canada. What's kind of stood out to you about them?
Well, first off, the Jets have been through some tough times this year with COVID, injuries. Well, the Pittsburgh Penguins can say, hold on a second, hold my beer. Let me sit down here and tell you. Like, they start the year without Sidney Crosby. They start the year, they still don't have Evgeny Malkin back in the lineup. For whatever reason, the Pittsburgh Penguins, maybe it's the curse of winning a lot of Stanley Cups, injuries always seem to kick in at some point, and they're not just small injuries. So what they've done lately is they've got great goaltending. Sidney Crosby has come back to the lineup. He's not at full strength, which is always nice to hear if you're the Winnipeg Jets and the fans here at this building. He's not where he's normally at, but there he is scoring against Montreal.
Exactly. They
haven't given up a goal on this Canadian road trip, and Tristan Jarry who was just awful last year in the playoffs, like awful. So there was a lot of rumors that Ron Hextall was trying to find another goaltender in the offseason, but there was a conversation between Hextall and Jarry. It obviously has worked because he has been the reason why the Penguins have got this 2-game win streak going on right now and are playing a lot better. But the Penguins are 2 lines deep. Not a lot of names on the blue line. Like, you're looking at this blue line going, how is this winning? But when you have somebody like Sidney Crosby on your roster and your goaltender's playing well, it's funny how these things work out. So the Penguins are starting to play a lot better because their best players back in the lineup and they're getting great goaltending. That's really what I've seen from the Penguins as of late.
Should be a good matchup tonight. Of course, we'll have Jamie Thomas and Paul Edmonds on 680 CJOB tonight. Thank you.
No problem.
And as you can see, not very many bodies left on the ice for the Jets' morning skate today at Canada Life Center as they get prepared to play the Pittsburgh Penguins, who Jamie Thomas just kind of profiled a little bit there, the type of season that they're having coming in with 2 wins. So obviously they got a little bit of momentum going. We mentioned earlier on in the show that we were going to give you a little bit of a glimpse into what the Hockey Fights Cancer warm-up jerseys are going to look like, and that's because they are the feature of the game. The Jets Gear featured item of the game. New Hockey Fights Cancer authentic jerseys by Adidas. Choose from blanks or pre-customized player name and number jerseys available at any of our Jets Gear booths located through the concourse. That's the new Hockey Fights Cancer jersey by Adidas. Jets Gear, the official team store of the Winnipeg Jets. And fans, registration is underway for the inaugural Ducky Pond Hockey Classic, which goes from January 13th to 16th out at Camp Manitou. There's an open division and a women's division capped at 72 teams. Win your division and you head to the World Pond Hockey Classic in Plaster Rock, New Brunswick next year. And if all that doesn't sound good enough, there's going to be entertainment, a viewing party of the Jets game on Saturday, food trucks, and much more, with proceeds going to a number of charities such as Howard Chuck Strong and the True North Youth Foundation. To register or for more information, head to duckypondclassic.ca. Now, of course, the weather's getting a little bit colder, so you're like, why in the plaza? Why outside? Well, it's not outside. It's back inside now at Hargrave Street Market. So you can enjoy entertainment, that kind of food right there, which we had a little bit of on the JetsTV Live post-game show a couple of weeks ago. It's fantastic. That's my recommendation. You can hang out with your friends like those cool people right there. And really, you don't even need a ticket to the game. You just come on down with your proof of vaccination. You get in, you get your food, just like that young lady right there. And you enjoy it and enjoy some time with your friends. And really, just have an all-around good time. So if you need more information on the In the Plaza events at True North Square, head to truenorthsquare.com/intheplaza. Now, this is the 10th season that the Winnipeg Jets have taken part in Hockey Fights Cancer, and over the years, the team and its fans have donated over $850,000 to Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation. They're hopeful to hit the 1 million mark this season, so more people affected by cancer can have as many tools as possible in their fight. People like Jared Sinigi, who sat down with JetsTV to tell his story.
My name is Jared Sinigi. I'm a senior building engineer and ice technician for True North Sports and Entertainment. In February of 2018, I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. From there, I was quickly set up with a couple tests and a surgeon and had an operation to remove the cancer. The surgery was successful, and and we were put into a monitoring surveillance program. Now fast forward to 18 months later, my CT scan came back with an abnormality of one of my lymph nodes. The diagnosis was obviously difficult. No one ever wants to kind of get told that news. The process of going through treatments was more difficult than I anticipated. I knew it physically was going to be tough on my body, but I didn't fully appreciate how tough it would be mentally. To top it all off, doing it during COVID made it even tougher. Just even having family over for a hug, a talk, none of those are available. But there's a lot more to going through these treatments than just the obvious things that you see. You know, not everyone who goes through cancer diagnosis and treatments looks sick. Now this year, being able to get up and take the kids to hockey on a Saturday, Sunday morning, even if it's 7:30 in the morning, I'll get up, have a cup of coffee, wake the kids up, and you know, it just feels so good to reconnect and, you know, be back, you know, in their lives. Our whole families struggle through this time for me, and I can't say how thankful I am for everyone helping out. And you know, it took a team a team effort to help pull me through, and I don't know where I'd be without everyone's help.
Hi, this is Mark Scheifele, and you're watching JetsTV Live, presented by Budweiser.
Thanks, Mark Scheifele. That is right. You are watching the JetsTV Live pregame show presented by Budweiser. We talked a little bit about the Jets and the Pittsburgh Penguins and how they're doing coming into it, but the best way to do that is the matchup board. So let's go into that right now as we await the players to get into Matt Frost Media Center. Pittsburgh has wins in the last couple of games, as we talked about, helped erase the memory of a 3-game losing skid just prior to that. Their power play does sit as the worst in the National Hockey League. That being said, though, Sidney Crosby's only played in 5 games this season, so that number is going to start to tick up. They were 1 for 1 on the power play against the Montreal Canadiens earlier this week, so they've had limited opportunities. The Jets obviously had 0 opportunities to improve on their power play against the Vancouver Canucks, so both teams kind of hoping that their power play can get going a little bit. Jets power play sits just outside the NHL's top 10. And they're going up against the league's best penalty kill tonight, and that belongs to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course, Winnipeg's PK is 31st in the National Hockey League. And as you can see in that shot attempt percentage, it's real close, and that puts them both inside the top 10 of the National Hockey League in that department. So 2 teams that are really well matched, and let's hear what the players have to say about that matchup in the Matt Frost Media Center.
Josh, I'm not entirely sure how to ask these types of questions. This emotional night for you, I assume. See the post on Instagram yesterday and all that. Can you just kind of talk about kind of what this night means to you, I suppose?
Yeah, it's it's a special night. It's a night that for me personally and our family, I think, has kind of been marked on the calendar for a while. Obviously, it was a tough last year and certainly summer. For us and losing our dad, but tonight I think means a lot for us, and it's just exciting. It's a lot of emotions. There's happy thoughts, obviously some sad as well, but it's a great initiative by the NHL, and certainly going to be playing for him tonight, and like you said, it's a special night for our family.
What kind of emotions and memories maybe stand out when you kind of go through that process?
Obviously the reason it's special would be that, biggest connection between my dad and I was hockey and the game, and I wouldn't be here without him coaching me and helping me, go after my dream. So, obviously that's where the connection starts, and just, whether it's so many memories throughout the years along the road to sort of getting here. It's been pretty crazy. Just there's so many people that have been touched by cancer within their families, friends, and tonight is is all about, keeping those people in our memories and, trying to, keep the faith for people that are battling cancer and continue to raise money to try to find better treatments and help for people. So, it's a big night and one that, like I said, it's special for a lot of folks.
Nikolai, just before we move to the hockey portion of the conversation, we're aware of Josh's story, obviously. Has there been anything in your past? Is there anyone you're playing for in particular tonight where this game is a personal connection?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have some family too that is going through a battle. But like J-Mo said, I think we're going out there to play for everyone. Yeah, I've my family has been in this battle for some years now. This is always a special night. It is for everyone. Everyone's got somebody who's fighting something. So this is, like J-Mo said, a very, very special night.
Sorry, Cal. Just on that topic, do you know what it's been like to be coached by your dad? I mean, you've met Tom. Do you have any memories of Tom from maybe either a father's trip or meeting him over the years?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't talked to him that much, to be honest, but, he was always happy, when my family was here, that he would talk to them, and I remember that. So that was very special for me. But he was always a happy guy, very nice guy to talk to. My dad, like you said, is a hockey coach. So, I think our dads were pretty similar in the way that, they were trying to find a way to be the dad and the coach at the same time. But they're dads, they try to help us in any way to make us fulfill our dreams. So that's special.
The suit kind of come together?
Yeah, I mean, I just kind of was thinking about ways that, something you could do to just, make it a little bit more special. And, for us, my dad was always, like, he was in the financial world, so he always wore suits and whatever. So growing up, when we had to get our first dress shirts, ties, stuff like that for hockey, he was always the one kind of taking care of us. And first suits and all that kind of stuff. So it was always important to him. He was always dressed, sharp and whatnot. So I just figured it would be a nice sort of tribute to him to, get a jacket done up for the night and auction it off for, with the proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society. So that was kind of the genesis behind the idea, and it's come together. I think he'd be it's a little more wild of a color than something he would wear, but I think he'd be pretty proud of that.
Is it velvet?
It is, yeah. It's a lot, but it's pretty cool, and I just think it'll be special for us to for me to wear it, and I think he would be, like I said, he'd be proud. He'd think it's pretty cool.
Can I just have one more on that? Family coming in tonight, or is there any kind of a group for you tonight? What kind of is happening for you?
We kind of talked about it. I mean, with just us being home for one game, obviously before heading back on the road, it didn't really make sense. There's other times in the schedule that they'll come in for a couple of games. People rather watch a couple games than hang out with me that much, I think. So, but no one's coming in. But just honestly, the outpouring of messages, in the last couple of days, just sort of about, the game's been marked on a lot of people's calendars within our family and friends, and that know my dad and I, and that goes well beyond us as well. I mean, this game's, as Nikolai said, it's special to a lot of people, and so it's always a special night in the year, and one that means many things, but means a lot to so many people. So it's an important one.
Nikolai, you've been around this hockey club, as Josh has, for a lot of years, and Josh just mentioned it's always been an emotional night notwithstanding the personal loss you had last summer. But what are your recollections from the time you started with the franchise to where you are now of this particular night? Because the players always seem to be so bought in on this as well.
Yeah, I mean it's been special every single time, but it does become, I wouldn't say more special, but you appreciate it more when you know somebody who's been in the battle or is in the battle. That's when it's really eye-opening. But I look back to my first year where I thought it was a super cool thing to do. Even in Halifax we did things, and I think it's a little bit bigger over here. You can reach out to more people. To where we are now, I think it's an awesome thing. I love it. And I got my grandparents back home that pretty much watch every single game, and they'll for sure be watching tonight.
Sorry, quick hockey one. You guys haven't faced any teams from the East so far this year. I think this is only the second game as well played against. What are you expecting to see from this Penguins team?
It's a good question. No, they gotten some new players since we played them last, and obviously they got Sitbag, but they're a very skilled team. I think they do have some grit to them, and they're young guys that can skate really well. So it's going to be an exciting game. We need to bounce back, so it's going to be fun.
Thank you.
It's Nikolai Ehlers and Josh Morrissey, who, of course, like he said, he's had this one circled on his calendar for quite a while, obviously losing his father to cancer earlier in the off-season. It was a battle that he was going through the entirety of last season as well. So if you do want to take a look at the blazer that Josh Morrissey will be wearing tonight and will be auctioned off as well, you can head to his Instagram. It's on there. He posted about it yesterday. So give it a look. And like he said, it's probably a little bit more wild than something his dad would wear, but I think at the same time he would really like it as well. So if you want to check it out, head to Josh Morrissey's Instagram and you'll be able to see it there. Diving into tonight's projected lines, no real changes anticipated outside of in goal, where Connor Hellebuyck did go through his regular starting routine this morning on the ice, so look for him to get back in goal. He's been on quite a run since coming back from the illness that kept him out of 3 games. That Copp, Scheifele, Ehlers line had a strong game in Vancouver, controlling puck possession and holding a 72% shot attempt share at 5-on-5. So actually all of those 3 lines, Copp, Scheifele, Ehlers, Connor Dubois, Wheeler, Harkins, Lowry, Svechnikov, all controlled the shot attempt possession, the Corsi ledger, if you will, being on the positive side of that. So that's a good sign. A lot of the advanced analytics really like the Winnipeg Jets so far this year. So that's always a nice thing to see. The group ran into a couple of hot goaltenders on the road trip, but if they keep up a performance like that, more than likely they're going to be rewarded. As for the player to watch, there's days when I really put myself out there for players to watch, and then there's days like today where sometimes you just got to let the stats speak for itself. Kyle Connor is your player to watch tonight. He's on a 6-game point streak and leads the team in goals and points. His chemistry with Pierre-Luc Dubois has been evident all season, and in a game that will likely feature a lot of speed, I think Kyle Connor is going to make a big impact, and Jamie Thomas talked about him a little bit earlier. Just a guy that both ends of the ice, he's making an impact for the Winnipeg Jets, so that's good to see. Let's head next door to the Matt Frost Media Center.
Tom Morrissey from your...
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Can you share some memories of Tom Morrissey from some of your discussions, maybe?
Or? I'm sorry.
Josh's dad, do you have any memories of Tom from maybe some interactions?
Yeah, I do, and we don't spend a whole lot of time interacting with parents. You get your father's trip every once in a while. And more kind of the interactions with your family, maybe in the family's room, right? So that would be the story, always so positive and upbeat about the Jets and how his son was handled, because he had a kind of a high pick come in, and it wasn't an easy necessarily straight line. And you have experiences over the course of your career of mom and dads not understanding why that the day after the draft he wasn't first line center or whatever, or the progression that had been, and he was always so very positive about the direction, right? Really like what's going on, the way he's handled. So really positive feedback with him, and I think that attitude you see in Josh, right? You see in the son. He's always really upbeat guy, coming to work, excited to work. It's a good man.
Kind of a two-part question here for you. We know, obviously, the relationship with the organization and what Jamie and Tina Compound are going through. So first half on that and what this night means to you from that perspective. But also, has there been anybody personally along the way that you're thinking of tonight as well?
So for Tina and Jamie, that's how the right way. It's a significant battle that they've been fighting for a long time. It's been years now. And if you were going to try to find an example, hopefully you never have to go through it, but if you have to, and you're going to try to find an example of people that have continued to live and fight and experience life and be a part of other people's lives, it would be the two of them, right? Like, you don't get a chance to know Tina and how she's involved, like Christmas, the baking that she does. So we roll into Anaheim, everybody puts on 10 pounds, right? Like, it's just how she's able to do that. And then Jamie's work ethic from afar would astound you, the amount of video that man grinds on his off days and puts up on OneDrive so we can all it's incredible to watch how productive their lives have been, and they've been battling this for a long time. It's almost an inspiration, right? Not a lot of days where you have an excuse to get out of bed late, because he isn't, she isn't. You need to get your butt out of bed, right? Because Jamie's already sent you 10 things that you got to look at, and he's 5 texts. Have you ever seen it yet? Have you watched the video yet? Oh, man. Yeah, and personally, yeah. I don't know anybody that doesn't. I mean, we have somebody in our family right now battling, and it's serious. And I would say if we extended our families out to cousins, and all of us somebody would be dealing with it right now. It's just everywhere. This is a nice part of being in the National Hockey League. It's a month, and it's something that every single person in the room, every player, trainer, coach, manager is attached to. Every one of you in the room, right? How do you say it's a nice part? In a difficult situation, it's a great connector for all of us, and probably everybody that's sitting in that building tonight. This is going to be the toughest game of the year, because there's probably going to be some kids come out on the ice tonight, and I'm going to be staring at my feet for the most part, just trying to get through it, right? Like everybody else. It's tough. And then you also get inspired at the same time.
How'd it go for Paul today on the conditioning scale?
The word good came out, so we're hanging on that. He'll skate again tomorrow, and we are expecting to bring him on the trip.
Can you tell us what the lineup for tonight?
It'll be the same.
What do you expect the style of game to look like tonight, Paul? You've seen a lot of East opponents this season.
Yeah, I think one of the things that Pittsburgh has hung on to from their Stanley Cup runs is a pace of play. So they when Sidney Crosby's back in the lineup, he's at 1.13 points a game for 16 years. So that changes what they're able to finish, I think. The plays around the net, the skill plays, the breakout plays. But that they play at a really high intensity level, and they're on the puck. And that would be a term that we use in our locker room a lot, and I think we're still trying to get there. I think that even our last 3 games, I've liked us on the puck. I would say I would include the St. Louis game, not so much the LA game, but in that 4 of our last 5, we're on the puck the way we're supposed to be. I think that they have learned to do it naturally. So what does that mean to you? This won't be, I don't think you're going to see a lot of bodies turning away from the puck to create motion. It's not going to be a flow game, but it will be very, very fast, and it'll be very, very direct.
Well, they're kind of a special team extreme, if you will.
Yeah.
Number one on the PK and number 32 on the power play. And in your video, also they're leading the league in shots. So,
correct.
You know, are they just one of those teams they pound away, or are they getting?
It's a quickness. It's a quickness, and I think not all the teams that shoot the puck. Some teams shoot the puck at a high volume, and I wonder sometimes if there's a value to it because it's a potential change of possession for you, right? They've got the puck, they rip it out a bad angle. If you're right where you're supposed to be, it's not particularly dangerous. These guys, I think their pucks go to the net because of confidence. They're going to make a play if a play is there. They're not taking a 2-on-1 that's a real good chance and they're going to rip it at the net with their head down. That's not happening. But anything short of that, puck goes to the net and they try to create the chaos off it. That to me is the right way for the puck to go to the net. The inappropriate term is you shoot the shit. It's okay, so you can edit that part out. But the idea is if there's not a lot there, put it at the net, right? The good teams just put that at the net. They don't. There's nothing going on here. I'm going to try to fire this across through 7 sticks because then something great may happen. When it's there, they just make the play, and when it's not, it just goes to the net. So it keeps their pace high. I thought they played a heck of a game. Toronto, just outstanding.
Well, when you play a team that has a clear-cut #1 center, do you, at home, last change, do you chase that matchup at all? Is that your coach?
They used to. I think I used to, and now we'll do it maybe more off who the wingers are, because I like. So Scheif and Dubois, left and right-hand centerman, probably putting them on the ice right now with the way they're playing on their strong side on faceoffs and not worrying about that matchup. And then if you don't get it, Lowry's going. So we have 3 centermen that all run against the other team's best. I may just not do it all night long. So you get into the 10-minute mark of the first period, you go, okay, how are we doing? So whether Draisaitl was coming over, McDavid was coming, he was either getting Dubois or Scheif, but even in that, their shift length is longer than ours. So Lowry's getting them too. So we haven't watched it. We were harder with our defense, but even there, we've got kind of a more physical pairing and a more speed-based pairing, and we'll try to make a decision before the game what we think will match up the best, and then Charlie just changes it if he's wrong. And we went in one of the games, flipped it halfway through the Edmonton games. So we're not going to chase one guy, but we'll get a feel for what we think the wings can do. Okay, guys.
Said Coach Paul Maurice. Is lineup-wise, as you heard from the head coach, no real changes other than Hellebuck going in net. So our projected lineup graphic was bang on. So we got to celebrate that. Let's slide into check in to win. A few things obviously to do before the puck drops tonight at 7:30. Don't forget, puck drop is 7:30 tonight. Jets fans, don't forget to check in to win, powered by Skip the Dishes. At tonight's game, you could win a pair of tickets to an upcoming Jets rivalry game. Plus, you can win additional prizes by playing a variety of exciting interactive games like Codebreaker, powered by Skip the Dishes, Jets IQ, and the Over-Under Challenge presented by Betway. If you don't have the Jets app, visit winnipegjets.com/app. Join the fun and check in to win now. And of course, it's been a theme throughout this show. November is Hockey Fights Cancer Month. Tonight is the Hockey Fights Cancer game, but it goes all month. And we want you to join the fight. You can support by buying a warm-up jersey raffle ticket, purchasing a mystery puck or mini stick, or by making a cash donation by visiting winnipegjets.com/hockeyfightscancer. All proceeds raised will be donated directly to Cancer Care Manitoba, going to support children and youth in their fight against cancer. Help Hockey Fights Cancer today. And Jets fans, now's the time to buy your tickets for the Winnipeg Jets 50-50, presented by PlayNow.com. For tonight's game, the pot was sweetened and started at $20,000. The current pot sits over $25,000. Still early. You know that's going to keep climbing. Buy your 50-50 tickets online before the end of the third period of today's game to be included in the draw. The winner will take home half the jackpot, with all proceeds in support of the True North Youth Foundation. Buy your 50-50 tickets now at winnipegjets.com/5050. And coming up at the start of December is the Gala Dinner, presented by Scotiabank. It'll feature renowned illusionist Darcy Oak. You saw a little sneak peek on Nate Schmidt's Instagram story. That's a good place to look. The annual event is in support of the True North Youth Foundation, and its mission is to empower the potential in Manitoba youth through its 3 core programs. That's the Winnipeg Jets Hockey Academy, Project 11, and Camp Manitou. The evening is going to include exclusive player content, fireside chat between Jamie Thomas, who's on the show a little bit earlier, and Craig Heisinger, the assistant GM and director of vice president and director of hockey operations, and Sportsnet's Hockey Night in Canada's analyst Kevin Bieksa. So there's a lot going into this. It's on December 1st. It's a virtual event. For more information, you can head to tnyf.ca/gala. So that's another thing to do before the game tonight. We'll also talk a little bit. Do we have the podcast? Are we going to give the podcast? Yeah, we got the podcast. Chaz Lucius is going to be on episode 119. That will come out a little bit later on today. You can get the Ground Control podcast wherever you get your favorite podcast. So make sure you download that and give it a listen before the 7:30 puck drop tonight. And the last thing that we wanted to finish the show on, you may have seen some of the news from the last couple of days, but from all of us here at Jets TV, and the Winnipeg Jets, we want to send our condolences to Patrick Laine and his family as they grieve the loss of Patrick's father, Harry. So we wanted to make sure that we extended those condolences to the Laine family. Thanks for joining us on the Jets TV Live pregame show presented by Budweiser. We'll see you tonight for the Jets TV Live postgame show, also presented by Budweiser. We'll talk to you then.